Hello, everyone. Welcome. And everyone is still loading in. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Right. Yes, welcome to tonight's episode of ChronoBloom. And here we go. We are back with the third episode of the series as the plot is rapidly thickening, and I realized that the music is once again incredibly loud, so that has been dropped down ever so slightly. I'm also going to double check something because well, a little bit behind the scenes here. I found out that one of the players, I shall name no names, had their audio spliced only into the master audio track, the one that is going to YouTube. Mm-hmm. So for episodes 1 and 2, I have to edit directly off the master audio track. Yay.
Okay.
So I'm just going to make sure that that is actually... I think I fixed that, but I'm not sure. And I don't want to have that surprise again. That was not a fun surprise. Okay, let's see. I should probably turn that off too. That's probably wise. That's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. That's good. Set to track 5. Music can go to track 1 only. See, this is why we check things. Turns out I didn't actually do this right.
Audio is such a fun time.
Well, as long as stream heard it, like it's on record.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, yes, it's all on record, and I was able to edit it, so that is actually good. Speaking of, did you know that after this stream is over, the episode 1 is going to go live?
Ooh.
With a whole bunch of very fancy edits that totally didn't take me 2 weeks to do. Honestly, like it was mostly... my brain is slowly boiling away in the heat. And I haven't been able to do anything lately. Anyway, everything seems to be okay. And that is totally not surprising my voice. Channel 2, Channel 3. Who's got Channel 4? Rosie has Channel 4. Channel 5 is Nathan. And finally, Channel 6 is Sunny. Amazing.
Woo!
Okay. So, with all that out of the way, before we begin, I have some wonderful, wonderful people to introduce to you. So, starting to the far left, I know directions. Kay, who are, what do, where from, why, and how?
Why and how caffeine and spite. Hi, I am Kay. I am a community manager and comms manager in video games by day. Do TTRPG stuff every free chance I get. Come by my channel, Chaotic Wholesome Presents. This Wednesday for My Little Pony Madness. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to talk about other stuff, but we'll save that for later.
Amazing. Next up, we have Sunny. Sunny, where, how, why, what, when?
Oh, many questions. I know barely none of them. Hi, I'm Loving Sunny. Okay, Sunny, any pronouns really? You can find me on the internet. Probably go to my card and look there because everything's a mess and I'm slowly going other places. So I do TTRPG stuff and things like that. And I did them here. Yeah.
I goofed again. Your card.
Do
Your card is Loving Sunny with one eye, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so last time it was card with one R. This time it's Loving Sunny with
With
one
two
eye.
eyes. Hey, branding is
There we
a
go.
mess.
That's the correct link is now in chat,
There
and
you
the correct
go.
link is also already in the doobly-doo. So
Doobly-doo,
next up,
doobly-doo.
we have Sweet Rosie B. Who are, what do, where from, why, and how?
Ooh, Rosie, Sweet Rosie B, just about everywhere on the internet. The Sweet Rosie B on Tumblr. I am an artist, TTRPG performer, professional DM, showrunner. I have a big show about space pirates coming out in August. I'm also in a Lord of the Rings Oops All Elves campaign that is streaming on Mondays. I will give all those details at the end of the stream. How? Lots of caffeine and excitement.
Amazing. And then finally, we have, last but not least, Nathan. Who, what,
Hello.
where, how, why, when, wherefore?
I should probably be braced for that string of questions every time instead of accidentally talking over it. Hi, I'm your androgynous AI game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, tabletop RPG designer, streamer, voice actor, and general internet ne'er-do-well. You can find me at twitch.tv/the Neoncaster on Tumblr with the same handle. And hey, why don't you go buy my tabletop RPGs at sixofspades.itch.io?
Amazing. And with that all out of the way, I do have some.
Tavernon? Who are you? What? Where
I mean-
are you? What's going
Why
on?
are you?
Wow.
Yeah, how
Let's
are
see.
you?
Who, Tav, what, Tav, where, Tav, the Netherlands. Why, Tav, mostly caffeine. How, Tav, and still mostly caffeine. You have found this channel, so you know I exist. Yay, thank you. You can subscribe to this channel if you would like to. That really helps with the metrics and stuff. And number goes up, makes dopamine release. You can also, as some people have started to find out in chat, use commands now. We have a bunch of cool commands. Let me show you some. We have !art because I should remind you that all of this wonderful art that you're seeing here for characters was made by the inimitable Dungeon Delves. It's the perfect kind of art for a magical girl game, I think. Then you've already seen some people use the !cast if you want to see the links for all of our cast members. We have !hydrate, and it might actually not work because, oh no, it is on a cooldown. So if someone could do me a favor and try hydrate right now, that'll tell me if my cooldown blocker actually works. Otherwise, y'all can force us to drink way too much water. And we're not here for that.
Is this the style of parasocial relationship that goes both ways? They follow us and in exchange demand that we drink water. I understand.
Yes, there is also another secret command, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because
Ooh, spicy.
it's a surprise.
The problem is less the
We can
drinking
use
water.
later.
The issue is how frequently you need to step away from the stream when you drink too much water.
The give and
Also,
take
if you drink
balance
that
is
much
real.
water, please also take some sodium with it because otherwise you die.
Yeah, restore them electrolytes, kids.
Balance is everything. Balance is everything.
As with all things in life. Okay. With all of that out of the way, I think that actually, yes, that is pretty much everything. So we return. We fade from black to a couple of just regular old people, totally not looking completely haggard after the last few nights, waking up in a little bookshop. As you wake up, there's already the smell of like eggs and bacon has filled the room of the bookshop. There, I would like to note, wasn't a kitchen in this bookshop when you went to bed. However, there is now, and as you as the smell tendrils like cartoonishly pull you towards towards a little side room that has just formed itself in the shop. You see that there's this brunch, like bed and breakfast style table that has set itself down. There's a side thing with a whole bunch of different like foodstuffs and probably like tea. However, no coffee. This coffee shop, this library does not compete with the coffee shop around the corner.
Literally next door.
Okay. However, Nathan, you do receive like does your shop do something like DoorDash or Grubhub?
Oh, interesting. I don't think so. We don't serve enough food, I think, to justify the idea. I guess people do order Starbucks.
People DoorDash Starbucks. It was more is Enrico like personally offended by the concept of DoorDash?
Him personally, no. I think it's more it puts too much stress on his employees for him to sensibly do. It was trialed and then didn't work out, I think is probably the best way of framing it.
I think Arya would text Nathan to like, hi,
Actually,
we're like sending you money, can you bring us coffee? But yeah.
Actually, in that case, because at this point the door to the bookshop may open or not, depending on how Nathan is going to react to this, because your regular like receipt printer that normally the orders get printed on just starts printing on its own, and it prints a library run order that basically has the coffee orders of all of the people who are in the bookshop currently would have ordered for themselves.
Sure.
And
we are missing a couple.
It basically seems like for a second you're like, wait, didn't we cancel our DoorDash subscription? And then you read it again and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Two things. One, Enrico is I didn't vocal warm up for this character, so we're going to spend a time settling into it. Sorry. Just kind of like, I initially assumed this place was haunted, and now I just know it's the blasted shop next door. A brief flash of like when he discovered his transformation powers was loud thumping on the wall between the two, knocking the medal that he uses to transform off the wall onto the floor, which upon him picking up caused that. I was like, oh, it's just ghost, but nope, it's a literal sentient house. Great. The second thing,
they should really inform you of that before you sign the lease.
You know, in the same way that other subsidence issues, histories of people who have died in the house, and also haunted next doors. We have, or I have noted down, the orders of everybody except Kinley. Kinley hasn't placed an order on camera yet. So what is Kinley's order?
Well, here's the question. Would either of the other three in the bookshop bully Kinley into coffee? Because Kinley is very happy with tea.
Here's the thing. The house knows what you want. The house also knows what you need. So, does Kinley at this point need coffee?
No, Kinley, unless it is to make Rico happy, which is very much a goal of Kinley.
No. That's not the point of this. This is Enrico remembers your order without having to think about it. So I guess it doesn't literally have to be coffee, but what would be your order, I guess?
Yeah, probably an Earl Grey tea.
Sure. Noted.
It would be just the tiniest splash of milk, but way too much sugar. An offensive amount of sweetener.
Earl Grey hot?
Yes.
I cannot do that accent. I am not sophisticated enough.
Right, okay. So, with the receipt printed out, and he looks at it being kind of like, oh yeah, this is the ghost next door again.
Surprisingly enough, you do notice that you have been paid for the order.
I was gonna ask that, because then Arya would definitely be like, okay, I'm paying for it if the house didn't.
It's on the house.
Don't worry about it, darling. It's handy.
I guess there's a big discussion to be had about how the a magical quote unquote magical entity, Enrico refuses to believe it, has access to like digital credits to be able to pay. But let's not think about that too hard right now. There's a back of the hand rapping on the glass of the door to the bookshop, and opened with one arm holding the order and the other. Enrico comes in. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, you immediately get hit in the face with this smell of breakfast foods. And coincidentally, once again, just like for all of the rest of you, it's your favorite breakfast food. So going around the table, what is everyone's character's favorite breakfast foods? We'll start the other way around this time. So because Enrico got hit in the face with it first, as he comes in, which smell is the smell you go for?
Sure. I think this is a stack of maple pancakes.
And Rosie, what has Hannah already put on her plate? Because oh my god, the bookshop has this.
It would be such a treat for her because it's such a pain to make herself. It is French toast, but it's covered in cornflakes and lavender syrup.
Ooh.
Crunchy, sweet, delicious.
And next up, do the twins share the same breakfast preferences, or are there two different breakfast dishes that the house has magically produced for them?
You see, I think they would both like have waffles, but Arya has it with like bacon on the side, and Alta puts extremely too much syrup on his waffles.
An offensive amount of syrup.
An offensive amount of syrup on his waffles,
Really
so
likes-
he definitely goes for the sweetness. Yeah, and she goes for like not as sweet.
And Kay, what has the bookshop cooked up for Kinley this time?
Kinley has a breakfast that does not make sense to most people. On like one little plate are biscuits and gravy, and then a thing of grits. And then next to it is a thing of French toast with, again, offensive amount of syrup, whipped cream, fruit, chocolate chips, just obnoxious. Like there's more topping than there is French toast.
Forgot about the whipped cream. Yes, definitely what Alto does as well. Just like goes like, I can do that. Sees Kinley doing that and just like starts adding all of the sweet on top of his
Yeah,
waffles.
normally she's very good about. Everyone has a bad day. Just kind of looks up at the ceiling. Like, it's fine. It's good. They can have some of mine.
I think at that point, like the house, a couple of the walls like creak kind of angrily at Kinley's admonishing.
Hey, if you piss off the house too much, it's gonna tear down my wall too. So
It'll be fine. That's
anyway,
not how these things work.
your
Here we go.
order, Kinley.
Thank
The
you.
Earl Grey splash of milk and 6 sugars is yours.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Alto, the cappuccino with the cocoa powder dusting.
Thank you so much.
Arya with the iced coffee, even this early. And
Yeah.
Hannah with the oat macchiato with 4 shots of espresso and a vanilla.
Mango.
Please, looks like there's a big plate here for you. Make
Mhm.
yourselves comfortable.
Enrico sits down with the Colombian Americano. And,
Yeah, I was going to ask what drink would the house have told you to make for yourself?
he brought his own coffee over. I don't think he actually. He has a cute little. Even though they didn't do the DoorDash thing really in the end, what they did do was like a line of keep cups that have the logo of the Soul Focus on it. So we get like a close shot of that placed on an oak table on a coaster. He's not a monster. As he looks at the stack of pancakes and looks up at the ceilings, like, thank you kindly.
That cup is very cute. Looks at the ceiling. Do you think we should do something like that? Have you ever thought of branding?
The ceiling shakes ever so slightly, and a little bit of dust trickles down. It doesn't fall onto your plate or anything. The house is not a monster, but you get a feeling that the house is basically going branding for who.
Yeah, you need to focus on that plushy line of your transcended form once you become famous and all that.
Yes.
I don't really want fame, but I would rather like a stuffed animal of myself. That would be.
That would be so
Amazing.
cute.
Mm-hmm. Sip of coffee.
So, as you are all starting to enjoy your breakfasts, you still have the events of the last week or so fresh in your minds, and at this point, you have gathered up some information. So, all that rests me to ask is, what do you as a group want to do, having been brought together so handily by the house?
Yeah, speaking of our favorite drinks and all that, we did do a little bit of digging on the day before, and I think we turned up the name Power Ale. Promotional sales going on in town, on campus, I think you said you remembered. Do you remember anything else, you three? Looking at the students.
I know they were happening all over town, and also, I think Hannah has said something about seeing the sample we have on the lab.
Got a sample.
Oh, you got your bag.
We can take it to the lab and see if we can deduce what's in it.
So, fun fact: as you say that, a little door swings open to the side that none of you had noticed having been there before. This is your magical hideout. Therefore, as it opens up, you enter into this room that you see, not necessarily enter, this room that has a whole bunch of like laboratory equipment to one side, but also like punching bags to another side, a bunch of whiteboards with stuff marked out on it. This is one of the features that you started with, because this book shop was already sort of established as a magical girl hideout.
Mhm.
This is the practice room, and while it does not yet give you any benefits to researching here, it pretty much has everything you need to start doing some research.
That saves us some time. We don't have to walk all the way to campus.
Yeah, that's amazing. When did this happen, Kenley?
It's always been here. It just comes and goes.
Oh,
I like it.
Room of requirement rules.
Yeah.
I call dibs on the centrifuge.
I think Enrica was about to kind of try and placate Hannah with like, there is a system and a logic to this. Science still has relevance here. But it's like, no, lab equipment. I don't care. There's no moral compunctions going on in my head right now.
Who cares? It's magical lab equipment. Mine now.
It's state of the art.
It actually seems to be, though. Every time you look at one of the pieces of lab equipment, you realize that the company that has produced it doesn't exist.
So it's not HIT. It's not any
Well,
of like the companies.
here's the thing.
Definitely
Anytime you
not
look,
it.
you do notice like a little HIT symbol. However, it seems different from the one that HIT currently uses.
Interesting.
It's the symbol that HIT currently uses. By the way, for those of you not familiar with HIT, Helios Integrated Technologies is a mega corporation that has its fingers pretty much in every pie in the city, including the university. A close equivalent to this would be one of the main FANG companies in how much people really want to end up working for them, because it's basically, it guarantees that you can pay off your student loans. So the normal symbol, the symbol that you're used to for Helios, is a sun that is being held up to the sky by a hand, like a stylized hand holding a sun, and then sunbeams coming out of it. This one seems to be like a little symbol of a shield with a sun emblazoned on it. And it just has to. It once again just has the HIT, still the same font on it.
I mean, why me?
Yeah, there's parallel universe version of the company, I'm assuming.
I played the 5th.
I don't think Enrico has the information about how time works to make a guess, but that's my guess out of character. All right.
Also, I'm not sure how familiar Enrico is with HIT for the to recognize that. I think with
the current company, sure. Previously attempted to be scouted and decided not to,
gotcha.
But stayed in the city regardless.
In that case, he would definitely know that there's something up there.
I think he's probably going to leave Hannah to take the lead on this particular investigation. What's the plan? How do you want to lead this then, Hannah? What should we be doing? Where should we be at?
Well, I think the first thing we should do is figure out what's in this, because it has a whole bunch of ingredients already listed, but then it said, what was like awesomeness?
Yes,
Coolness?
what is bottled concentrated awesomeness?
We should figure out what that is, so we can separate out all the other ingredients using the scientific method. We can boil things off, we can burn things off until we have whatever's left over, and then analyze that.
There does seem to be a centrifuge. I think that's what that's called over there.
Yes, if you find there's something missing, think about something that you need, and then just open the nearest cabinet. It usually fixes it.
Okay, magic is a science, and she's going to just go over to the
It's for things you need. If you just would like, it doesn't always, but... And then Kinley's just going to kind of skip over to the whiteboards and start making a murder board of like all the things we know, and like 24 details that are in no way related, but like so-and-so here had cute hair, and just connecting that to everything.
Okay, so I would like 2 things. First off, Hannah, I would like an analyze check. And then second off, Kinley, I would also like an analyze check.
Am I good at that?
I don't have your character sheet in front of me right now, but I
Roll
can
the
show it
3.
to people. Let's see. Is Kinley good at analyzing?
I've got one pip.
Kinley is decent at analyzing. The more you know.
Kinley's not good at analyzing. No.
Oh no!
Kinley is completely lost in reading people who were in an area, and this hair was cute, but this outfit was a disaster, and this person really needs to lay off the caffeine.
So what essentially happens is Kinley starts pulling things together, and as you step back, very proud of yourself, you look at it again and goes, "Oh, this makes no sense at all."
Maybe that was that detail from the other. Start erasing things.
And I believe that's a 3 from Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with the good rolls already.
Yep, just burn them now.
So as you, as Hannah starts analyzing everything, what you begin to realize is there doesn't seem to be any special ingredient in this, at least not one that your science equipment can detect. As in, you're able to pull out the caffeine, you're able to pull out the taurine, you're able to pull out the frankly unhealthy amount of sugar, you're able to pull
Seems
out
like a perfectly
500
normal amount to me.
500 different E numbers. Just, you know, your regular energy drink. However, there's one thing that does keep coming back every time you do a check, and you can't really get your head around this. But when every sample analysis concludes, you get an error from the machine that basically says, it basically says you have too little of the sample remaining. Like, there is a discrepancy between the initial sample that you put in and whatever whatever it had left at the end of analyzing. The, very, very minor, like a few hundred milligrams, but it's still enough to trigger the sensitive equipment.
Not identify it, which is concerning
No,
in its own right.
It literally didn't. It literally wasn't able to grab onto it, as if it disappears the moment you isolate it.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Hey,
make any sense.
you know what? I have a strange idea. Hear me out. Hear me out. So, the items that we have as part of our transcendence have an element to them that reflects how we feel, and there's a specific feeling that gets us where we need to go. So, for example, and he pulls the engraved metal out of his pocket. When I think about the puzzle pieces fitting into place and get like the satisfaction of a completed work, that's what makes this goes. And he has a think about it, and it like starts glowing. The eye on the engraved thing starts glowing. Aria, well, I actually don't know what the feeling is for you. I don't think you specifically said. I mean, I can guess, but it's probably more specific than what I'm guessing.
Sorry about my dog. We have these earrings. You can see we each have one. And we think about, well, connections. You know, how it all connects, how we can connect to others. It's, you know, the harmony of the world. And the more we think about how these things fall into place and how we can use our own connection to gather everyone else for ours as well, that makes, you know, a little trigger and all that. They like kind of touch heads with each other. You can see them like release a little spark when the earrings come together. Like I mean, we've never seen it work for ourselves. I'm pretty sure we found the earrings here, to be honest, but we're always together when it happens. And
Right.
kind of it, yeah.
So then all the people we did like Kinley and I did a bit of researching last night. We did hit the streets to gather some info, and it seems that all the people that ended up transforming, that had the consumed, that became the consumed, had a moment of rage, right? So I wonder, and Enrico looks at the sample. I think it's like in a little petri dish, very the thing, like inspecting it, and tries to think of something that recently that pissed him off. And I'm willing to kind of take suggestions on what kind of last thing annoyed Enrico.
I love the fact
Like-
that I just.
I was gonna say, yeah, Kinley getting on your face about everything you do. Could be like Kinley's face right in front of you, maybe?
Just tweening in from like stage right, Kinley's like, face.
Kinley's-
The most
Kinley-
animu eyes, like huge with sparkles. Just
Yeah, Kinley slowly comes closer towards you as you're starting to make this description, and as you touch the petri dish, all of you see it like beginning to bubble and boil, and then it breaks.
Oh,
and there's this tiny shockwave of energy that comes out of it, and for a second, as it washes over you, all of you do feel like angry, and then it washes away. It wasn't enough. It definitely wasn't enough to overrule your powers as magical girls. But this system doesn't have inspiration. Otherwise, you would be getting inspiration for that. So instead, go ahead and take a link on everyone, Nathan.
Ooh, I'm not allowed to make links normally, so this is genuinely really useful.
Hannah, no energy drinks for you, kindly.
After I just had a quad.
Oh, that's fine. Coffee seems to be
we
fine.
trust Enrico.
No more
know-
of these? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know his coffee's good. Maybe we stick with our caffeine intake from Enrico. Enrico, if you're okay with that, obviously. Don't want to overwork
Hey,
you.
I'm more than happy to be your legal provider of substances.
Hey, I'm even willing to try some warm coffee if you ever think I would like something. I
Hey.
know you do the iced for me, but I do see that. No.
Every person has their own order. It doesn't have to be what I personally would drink. I would not put that much sugar in a cup of Earl Grey. Let me tell you that much. But as long as you pay me and I have the ingredients, I'll make you whatever you want.
Of course.
Uh,
And I can pay for everyone else's as well. Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's
Please,
fine.
darling,
I
we
can
have a
handle
tab.
it. Well, yeah, the tab needs to be paid eventually.
Well, it's fine.
Enrico, you at this point realize, yes, technically there's a tab, but it has never been negative. It's always been immediately paid. However, it's always been immediately paid by a different bank account.
There's a flash. Is the house like committing some kind of fraud?
That's what
Am
I'm
I gonna get
Distributing wealth, don't worry
I'm gonna
about
get
it.
investigated by the IRS for being paid by a spooky house. Like, is it gonna be like all money laundering?
Hey,
You know what?
the
I'm not gonna
IRS
entertain. Like a big cloud has appeared of this thought. He swishes it away.
Don't
No, no,
worry,
no.
the IRS doesn't care if you're being paid by a spooky house, so long as you tell them you're being paid.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Also, I would not
it
call
goes in a
spooky
box
while
for
you're inside her.
unnatural financing.
Well, internal thought, but yeah, it's a whimsical house. Then don't be picky.
So as you realize all of this, I believe like Enrico was doing like some searching on the beverages, right?
I guess on mostly being lab hands for Hannah, but I guess we can springboard off the kind of like research we were doing previously, because there was the kind of internet-based research that he was doing, and I guess now he's probably put in a search term into the phone for like power ale. And if people start tweeting about like, oh, a new pop-up shop has gone, oh my god, I'm gonna do like an Instagram live for
So yeah, as that is going on, and as perfectly at a dramatical time, because of course, as the thing breaks, you get a boop boop on your phone, informing you that one of your web crawlers has gotten some results. And as you open it up, you see that it's been starting to pull together threads of different vehicle rentals, licenses that have been gotten from the government to run these pop-up shops, hiring How is your web crawler doing this? You're beginning to realize that this thing might have a little bit of a mind of its own.
It's been finally given a task, and it is going off on tangents. It's
Are
enjoying
your web
itself.
crawler
much
and my
exactly.
shop going to get together?
They all seem to link to one thing, which is a corporation called Interbevco. So Inter BEVCO.
Got it.
Which you then it pulls up like a document from when it was established in the city, and corporation name Interbevco, other trading name International Beverage Corporation. The reason why it's a corporation to produce and sell beverages. It's very, very generic,
boilerplate. Yeah.
It's it gives you immediate shell corporation vibes. And as we fade out and fade back in, we see essentially one bit of text that scrolls down, and it is an address. And then we fade back in with our magical girls sitting within visible range, but a bit away from this large, almost looming industrial plant. And it has a large sign on the front that says Interbevco, and then a couple of signs on the chain link fences that says intruders will be shot. And at about this point, when you're sitting there, you see a large unlabeled truck drive up to the chain link fence. You see a couple of guards open it up, pull it out, pull the fence out. Truck drives in and drives into a bay, which closes off again. And as this happens, and you see the guards walking back to the guard post, you realize that they have pretty mean-looking submachine guns in front of them. Not really the kind of gear you'd expect to see at a beverage production company.
Yeah, we've got private security tier stuff going on. The Coca-Cola has hired a PMC in Minecraft. Not real. Don't show up to my house. Coca-Cola.
It's the Pepsi military company.
Yes. Pepsi, where's my jet?
Have the twins ever heard about this company before?
Yes, have I heard
Read, seen, something like that?
The company itself. Well,
it is its logo a shield.
I think this would actually be part of the engagement role, because we're starting to hit the mission, aren't we?
Ooh. I don't know. Are we?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
we're about to
There
go and
sounds
commit
like
some
it.
corporate
It feels like
espionage,
we're
it
heading
sounds
into some
like.
action-y stuff.
We are in fact heading straight into the action. So I would like we had Rosie rolling the engagement roll last time, so I'm going to sacrifice someone else this time. Who would like to be the sacrifice? Do we have a volunteer?
I haven't rolled today yet, so I can 100% remove my bad roll out of the way on this very non-important thing that is engagement before mission.
I've already rolled bad, and I don't.
The
trust
very
my
non-important thing that is engagement. Nathan, would you like to remind them?
I know I am being sarcastic, Tavernot. I am 100% being sarcastic.
Welcome
But please remind
everybody
me.
once again to the world of the engagement role in Girl by Moonlight. At the start of a mission, protagonists must make a special fortune roll called the engagement roll to find out how the mission begins. We're going to go through a list of questions talking about the nature of the mission we're about to do, and if it is in tonal favor to our side of the narrative, we're going to get additional dice. However, if we're being reckless, doing this for terrible reasons, or if the forces of darkness heavily outweigh our own, we may have fewer dice for this engagement roll.
Exactly. Now, what you are currently doing is, I would say, probably an investigation tier 2 mission.
We really pushed up the investigation level from our downtime.
But you've pushed the investigation level quite high last time, so that is actually good news for you. Let me pull things up, double check something. Yeah, I'm going to say that this is a tier 2 mission. So, to start with, there is always hope. The protagonists start with 1 die for every mission. Second up, is this mission particularly heroic or noble? What you are doing is essentially magically powered corporate espionage.
Mhm. Which, your perspective on whether that's a good or bad thing, but
I
as
think
a
it's
lifelong Netrunner player,
We're
Noblest
thinking of the
causes.
greater good.
Yes.
I
Trying
am
to
trying to protect multiple people and a timeline.
Yeah.
Does the mission's goal or methods reflect the worst parts of the protagonists? Do we have anyone who is like being who doesn't like being sneaky, but definitely is being sneaky right now?
It is
Fair.
against my
Yes.
code to lie.
I will give all of you that this mission is heroic because you're trying to save people. However, a couple of you are definitely like sitting outside with black clothing on, the balaclava ready, and going like, "Is this the way we should do this?"
Are we the bad guys?
Kinley
So-
is like still in the ridiculous jacket with the newspaper and keeps going like,
My God. Yeah.
So, is the mission following through on details from the protagonist's investigation? Very much extra die. And I'll say that you are not acting rashly or on little information. Does this mission determine the fate of a friend?
No, we don't know anybody personally who's been chugging.
Oh no,
any-
Tavernot. Oops.
Carrying
Okay,
on.
hi. The
Oh,
What just happened?
extra dice?
Tavernot just
But-
raised a finger.
Yeah, just raised a finger. Uh-huh.
okay.
Extra
Interesting.
dice?
Does the mission's tier exceed the current tier of the investigation? It does not. And are there any other elements that I want to consider due to circumstance or events in the world? No. So 3 dice for you.
That's good.
So roll 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Oh,
Hey!
that's a
6,
6,
let's go.
baby.
Woo!
So you are in a controlled position when the action starts. Things are going as planned, and the protagonists are setting the tempo. So where we are going to start is you see the camera pans over the heroes, and then pans back to the facility where we see the whole thing with the truck, and then it pans back to the park bench that they were sitting on, and there's no one sitting there anymore. As the camera now crash zooms on the warehouse, we see one figure hopping the fence, another figure hopping the fence, 2 figures together, like one being boosted up by the other hopping the fence, and finally the last person of your group, who's taking up the rear guard.
I will.
Okay.
Sure.
I think in that case was still Kinley, like making a very comfortable little hop over, and everyone is on the grounds, and we see you running. We see you rushing over the ground. Cameras around you, but every one at a time, they just go zoom as Enrico hacks into each of them and turns them off. And at that point, a patrol of 2 guards comes walking past you, and you see now. You're finally close enough to see the logos on their uniforms. Their logo on their uniform isn't a Helios related. It's not a Helios related company. The logo is of something called Aegis Security, and it does have this. It does have this shield, but it is more. It is a Grecian style round shield with the notches out of it and a single spear through it. However, so Sunny, you don't know. You're not familiar with this group. However, in your past, you definitely have seen similar groups being hired by Helios Research. just because they are actually doing some very, very top secret research that they want to keep protected. Kinley, you have seen a very similar logo to this operating in your past. You've been operating. You have actually operated alongside people like this.
Oh. That's interesting.
Also, thank you,
Can
chat,
we
for
say that out
reminding
loud?
me that my camera goes to about here, and I like go like this.
Whoops.
Oh, whoopsie. But yeah, you are now in a controlled position, so you're actually pretty comfortable in setting the tempo, and you see these two guards walking past in uniforms that would fit one of you, that would fit the members of your group. Once again, like submachine guns in front of them, but at low ready. They clearly give off the impression of military trained security. So probably ex-military or very well trained mercenaries.
I would love to do a thing that we've not done yet. And activate a
go ahead.
flashback, please. I need to
Excellent.
double check the rules, the specific wording of the rules in the book. But if it goes by Blades in the Dark rules, I'm spending 2 points of stress.
It
to
depends
establish
on
something
how
we did in the way
egregious
back.
the flashback is.
Right, well. What I would like to do is, in this flashback, the way that Enrico got inside the building was having a conversation with the security system. And is how to put this is just in the I like the idea this is an actual conversation, even though there's no mouth movement in real world, being like, let me level with you. We have a group of us who don't have our passes on us and just need to get some temporary passes activated so we can get where we need to go. I have a bunch of blank ones on here. The kind of like blank key cards you could just generally buy and need to pre-program. If you could get these up and running, that'd be absolutely marvelous.
So what you essentially want to do is that Enrico has earlier gotten them to approve.
Got some
bunch of-
security clearance key cards on hand from having talked to the security system.
That is definitely on the egregious side.
Okay.
I will call that a 2 stress flashback. So for everyone who's wondering, 2 flashbacks generally go from 0 stress, which is like, yeah, it makes sense that you did that. Like you brought a screwdriver to go fix to go build a piece of IKEA furniture. You're not taking stress from that. And then 1 stress is for things that are unlikely, but still would have likely happened. And then 2 or even 3 stress is what you get if you go like, so I know the guard. The guard is called Bob, and Bob and I have been family friends for the longest time. And Bob fucking hates the corpos, so he'll just let us in with a push of a button. That would be a 3 stress flashback.
That'd be too easy.
I mean,
yes.
I can make it very difficult for you after you've gotten in, so don't worry
Yeah,
about
of
making
course,
it
of
too
course.
easy.
I will mark 2 stress on my playbook.
Excellent.
Bringing me
Yeah,
up
so
to currently
you-
on 6.
Yeah, so you reach into your pocket and you pull out 4 key cards that 5 key cards that I keep forgetting that I keep messing with the twins. 5 key cards that each have a fake name but a picture of the person who it is for on them.
Oh, mate. Actually, I love the fact that I was about to go and give the incorrect voice for Enrico, but actually, this is great. I love this. Oh, mate. sorry to go and bother you both, but we're new and we haven't got our kits yet. Can you direct me to where the locker room is so we can go pick up some spares? I've got
So you're trying to trick them, are you?
Yes.
Interesting.
Let's not go punch somebody with a gun. That feels like a bad plan.
Can we assist in any way to what the Denrico's trying to do?
You absolutely can. You can take a point of stress to give me an additional die.
I want to take a point of stress. How would I do that?
Well, how are the twins assisting?
They could try to be like look professional, like try to mimic the social situation of how we would be looking. Like, yes, this is exactly what we were supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be doing it. And just like, looking the part to try to help, like, yeah, they should be here.
Professional yet mildly upset because we don't have the things.
Because like, yeah.
Because corporate keeps fucking up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I'll let you take
onboarding situation has just gotten worse and worse, honestly.
I'll let you take the point of stress, and which skill did you think you were going to use for this?
I wanted to use empathize on this one in a kind of like, look, you've been in this situation, right, where you're new and then you just get kind of like turned around without being able to start. Like, give us a chance here.
Yeah, I will allow it. And I have a devil's bargain for you, which is they are absolutely want to help. However, protocol requires them to like follow you into the facility. So they'll bring you to the locker room rather than show you the way.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that. Cool.
You can take an additional die in that case.
That puts me at 4d6.
Okay.
So let's go and roll 4d6. Bah.
Hey, ooh.
Oh, that's a crit.
Amazing. A crit in a controlled position. Those are very good to have. So let me pull up what that does, because it changes per position. 1 sec. Elevator music starts playing in the background. I need my quick reference sheet. I have my quick reference sheet. Okay, so you have the perfect opportunity. You have the advantage. You do it with increased effect. So they look at you like, corporate. Yeah, makes complete sense. Your IDs check out. Come on, we'll get you. We'll get you sorted into the facility, and they'll start walking in, just doing background like chatter with all of you.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
then
mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Let me guess. Your hiring manager was Jason.
Yeah. God.
Yeah. Nephew of the boss. He does.
Nepotism.
You know how it is.
Gotcha.
So yeah, swipe opens the door, and you enter into this relatively large room that has a bunch of lockers on the side, and just a point. Yeah, you can get your stuff there, and then after you've gotten all your stuff, armories down the hall to the right. They'll get you sorted. They'll get you sorted for weapons, and then, hey, you look competent enough. Coffee machine is over there. Coffee machines are over there. We're on 4-hour shifts. 4-hour shifts, half-hour breaks. Yeah, just make sure to call in when you've got everything sorted, and it turns around, walks out. That's the critical for you. You are now inside the facility, inside the barracks.
You have never seen Enrico so smug. There's just a serene, pleasant smile. Like the animation has like little flowers radiating off him in a kind of like, oh yeah.
And there's coffee.
The twins go, oh my god, that worked.
Yeah, the one bit of bad news, it is one of those like large canteen coffee machines that you can.
Gross.
Yeah, it's not
It uses
instant, but it's
powdered
one of those
milk.
machines where you click on it and it makes a little whirring sound, and then it makes some like really crappy coffee because it never gets cleaned out properly.
Oh.
And also, Enrico, you realize the moment you take one step near it that there's a little speaker in it that actually makes the bean whirring sound. It doesn't even have that.
Oh my god. Oh, thank god we already had coffee before coming here.
I think for a beverage company, they'd have something a little nicer, right?
Do they care enough?
Probably
Actually,
not.
good
They
question.
want you to drink their product.
Is there any product in the room?
There is not.
That's
Like,
important.
there are no-
they
no
would not
cans-
serve that to their guards.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
important.
there are no cans of
Uh-huh.
energy drink. However, like there is like a mini fridge that has like cans of Coke, cans of Helios iced tea, cans, even a couple of packets of like that creamer that you put in your coffee. But it doesn't have the special energy drink. No,
Mm.
This is a sign.
the special energy drink.
Well, look, I got this in here. I'm gonna see if I can find a taser prod and some calm and a calm link in the armory space. But otherwise, I kind of leave this up to you. I'm a little bit out of my depth.
I think
there,
we should
must
all
admit.
uniform up.
Yeah. As with like,
Yeah. So as you are all uniforming up, I think this is a very good point to go for a break. So after these messages being a be right back screen because we are not on Twitch, we will be right back. However, I would like to inform chat of the secret command, which is ! Was it treat or ! Treats?
treats.
We'll see. Be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere. Bye bye.
They're getting it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Let's see if YouTube actually picks this up because last time I did a studio mode switch, I may or may not have gotten YouTube to break. So,
Break, yeah. That's true.
Actually, I think that was
Maybe.
episode 1. However, treats were activated. Don't knock over my drink, cat.
Ooh.
Where you don't generally come.
Yeah, we've been missed.
Stream is back up. And
Oh my gosh.
Good job, buddy.
Ferocious.
So eager.
Nom, nom, nom.
the first attack has happened, and then the second one.
Love how Loki just goes like. Last time I saw this happen, Loki was like legit grabbing the mic, like using the mic as like a support to be able to reach the treats.
And that has been your treat for now. We're here for when the treat command comes off of cooldown.
How
How
long's the
frequent
cooldown?
is treat command?
I believe I set it to something like 25 minutes.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
pretty
Set a
frequent.
timer.
I might actually boost it up slightly because it's not good for them to get too many treats. However, these are supposed to be good for their teeth. So
Ah. And it's good for all our mental health, I will say.
So, as we come back, we see our group of intrepid heroes rotate around the door, coming out into the hallway. The armory, you've been told, is at the end of the hallway. Otherwise, you don't really have a good map of the place in your mind.
There's not like a fire exit map anywhere like there would be in Factory.
Actually, yeah, if you look around, there is. However, the map seems to have it has the armory marked on it, the barracks, the outside of the facility, the loading dock, and then it has a massive chunk of the facility marked as high security area.
Oh, you might need to drop your music volume just a little bit if you haven't caught that. But
Oh yes, that's a good call.
yeah, I would definitely like to poke our head in the armory and see what's available. Enrico quite specifically, wants to try and get hold of like a comms at all, but we'll see what's available.
Okay. I'll just generally who amongst you are doing this?
I think it would look strange if we're the only ones walking around without weaponry. As much as I'm
That's-
not
yeah.
into the...
They might have like a nightstick or some kind of rather than you having to be contending with a firearm.
I definitely don't feel comfortable carrying a gun, but having something feels like a good idea.
Yeah, as you've looked around over all the guards, you do see that all the guards are equipped with firearms. So it would definitely be part of the costume.
Okay.
You do not have to use it, keep in mind.
Yeah.
But just carrying it, and then you can just drop it. And if I've been told that the safety or the switch, I'm not sure which. If one of those is on, you're fine.
Does anyone here know how to use a gun? I think we've gone to shooting ranges before and I tried to remember how to do it, but we're generally against guns.
I can, by the way, imagine that Enrico, with his particular skill set, would be able to just tap gun breaks. Especially if it's not being held by someone else and they're not being defensive about it.
Yeah. Breaking guns, sure. I know how a gun. I know how a gun works, but shooting one isn't necessarily my wheel of expertise. But it does give us the opportunity for a little bit of sabotage, he says in Soto.
Regardless, we should probably go to the armory and
We
at
should
least
have
get
the
some.
accessories.
Yeah.
Given the people I ran with, would I have? I assume I'm not a fan of them, but would I have spent time with firearms? Given
No. you very specifically would not have.
Hmm. We're all out to learn together.
That's so concerning. I
I-
love
I-
it.
Speaking of learning, this group, just so you know, don't be surprised. Again, I don't know. Things are weird here and different, but I don't know how far into the past the future goes. But with this, don't be surprised if they have some magical capabilities, or at least a few of them, in addition to their firearms.
You mean like
Not just
like
us.
us?
They are known for combining. They at least they will. I don't know if they have yet.
Well, that's certainly is good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye out. He like glances at the uniform that he's wearing and padded jacket and is kind of like, was there like a rune on it I didn't see? Hold on.
Just
If
first.
you look around, the jacket itself seems to be completely mundane.
Yeah. Going clomping in black boots now down the corridor to the armory. Is there anyone in there?
Yes, there's like a guard sitting behind thick bulletproof glass, with a little slot for giving out things. But hey there, haven't seen you around before. You part of the new batch?
Yeah. Sorry to kind of show up out of the blue. Jones and Alex showed us on the way here. So we just got suited up and we've been directed to go and get the gear.
Ah, gotcha. Well, I haven't gotten any purchase orders yet for you. So
What was the name of the manager that they had said? Was it James?
Jason.
Jason. Like the
hiring.
like R is gonna go like quiet to pretend that it's not supposed for them to hear like Jason.
yeah, he. Well, so I can't get you. I can't give you firearms without orders. But here's the default. Here's the default gear package. And I'll make sure to immediately put in orders into the system for you to get your gear. They handle it relatively quickly, so you should be able to pick those up on your first break.
Oh, you do. That's a solid, mate. Thank you so much. Hey,
You by the way, you all realize this is a problem because no one
He's
is
putting
in
it
the
in
system.
order. Yeah.
Look, hey, so after work, beers, yeah, on me for helping us out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Nice. So what is in the default package?
The default package is you actually do you do get some less than lethal weapons. So you end up with this very funky looking like a rifle sized taser. That actually seems fairly similar to the guns that they're wielding. It's some form of like futuristic stun gun. Instead of shooting the needle thing that a taser would shoot, it literally just shoots a bolt of electricity. And you do end up getting walkie-talkies with like earpieces you can put in, and that is about it as far as what you're getting.
Perfect.
How does the uniform look like? Just like legit, just
Yeah, I was going to
something
ask,
on the head. Is it just like black outfit?
does the
boots?
uniform
these-
provide any armor?
You know what? Yes, I'll. There is like a body armor component to it, so I'll say that you'll get a box of armor from this.
What?
So it's a body armor with a like very simple ballistic helmet. No particular face shields or face guards, which would make it annoying for you to hide from detection. There does seem to be like ballistic plates interwoven in the fabric. The fabric is like this not black, but very dark gray, because black is actually much less effective as a camouflage color.
Mhm.
And it has these very typical jack boots as
Mhm.
part of the to complete the ensemble.
Mhm. Charcoal with the black boot. Wow, with the heel. Very in this season. All right.
So fashionable.
Yeah, they have like this a
Hansel,
little
So
strip
hot
of
right now.
they have like a little strip of you ever have that thing where you only know the word in your realize you only know the word in your native language?
Ah.
Sure do. Sure again.
Oh wait, we only have one other ESL
Multilingual
person here.
speaker, sure.
It does
Velcro.
happen of like the opposite. Sorry,
Yeah, it's
what?
a bit of Velcro where you could stick on a name tag, and you see that everyone that you've run into by now has a name tag stuck on. You don't have a name tag,
Mhm.
and the logistics guy I was like, yeah, I'll make sure those are printed for you when you get back here. Fucking Jason, am I right?
Yeah. fucking
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
You all look at Kenley, and he's like, and like his face is a little red as he wants to chitty chat.
Just put a hand solidly on Kinley's shoulder.
Anyway, we have posts to get to, innit? So yeah, thanks so much. See you after work. Be cool.
And as we step out, Kenley go, do you think you could get him to lose that order?
There's a a pause. I mean, maybe. My current priority should probably be having a chat with the systems to understand where everything is, right? I mean, he can put in the order, and then they go and try and find. It's a little difficult to go and find somebody who's in a uniform with a name you don't know. That kind of.
Yeah, but I mean, if they put in, these people are very organized, and if orders come in for people who don't exist, they're going to react.
I guess my thought is that we might have a little bit of time, and to be honest, and there's a bit of an expression of a kind of like admitting a weakness. Can't have a chat with machines too many times in a row. I need to kind of get the energy back up. So
All right.
it's
All right.
either going to be that or it's going to be speaking to the radio system. I don't think I can do both right now.
I see
Oh.
Taverna getting a piece of paper. Definitely not starting a clock, I'm assuming.
Help.
Oh boy.
So,
All right.
in fact, I do have some news for you. A clock is going to start. That is going to start ticking, no matter what happens. As in, it ticks every time you take action. You'll take actions.
Mhm.
I think 6 actions should be enough. Yeah,
Sure,
you
sure.
get 6 actions.
Can I tell them one more thing without it being an action?
Before the purchase order has gone through. That is probably not a good clock for you to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Can
The
I tell them
downside,
one
by the way,
more-
if you wanted to target it right now and stop it, is this could definitely put you into a risky or desperate position. If this clock fires, you'll be directly put into either a risky or a desperate position based on how you handle it at that point.
Mm-hmm. So what's the play here? I can like focus on start solving that now, but also if our time is limited, we should probably try and get to where we want to go as fast as we can, even if we're being chased.
So where are we wanting to go?
Probably that high security area, right? I mean, everything else was pretty self-explanatory, except that spot, which feels, by process of elimination, where we should be going, right?
That sounds like a
Right.
good plan. Hannah, you seem to know, scientific stuff. So I feel like you can throw around smart words in case we need them.
I can try.
If we need any social words, we might be able to help. But I guess just try to stay out of trouble.
And also, if you see a woman, Kinley is going to describe a woman that Kay doesn't know what this woman looks like.
In fact, Kinley would have seen her. No, Kinley would have seen pictures of her. Older woman, probably in her 50s. Gray hair, very neatly kept in military style. Similar uniform, but it has a few markings on it, marking her as the CEO of Aegis. Do you tell them the name as well?
I think Kinley's going to describe all that and say, could also, could be a few years younger. Could be maybe 40s instead of 50s. Not entirely.
30s probably, actually.
30s, maybe even 30s. I'm not sure what color her hair was initially, but very military bearing, about this height. Name is Dana.
Dana. Okay.
Did,
they all have name tags, so that should be easy.
Yeah,
right?
were name tags usually first or last name, or did I get it?
Do we know?
Yeah, it would have shown up on her name tag as D Palace.
Okay, D Palace. Dana is her name. If you see her, hide.
Did the twins recognize any of that?
Would you like to spend a flashback? I can tell you what you. I
Absolutely.
can tell you what you know, and this wouldn't be too out of the ordinary for you to know. So I'd call it a 1 stress flashback for you to have.
I will.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, so Dana, in fact, you don't know. However, we go into a flashback as the twins remember like one of many very boring dinner parties at your parents' estate, where there were like a whole bunch of people from Helios, from their Helios management structure, but there were also a few people from outside of that. You recall the name Dana, but you only recall it in the sense that a couple of older people who were friends with your parents, seem to be friends or at least friendly with your parents, were talking to them about their daughter Dana, who was currently on deployment.
Oh, I'll definitely relay that to the team. Yeah, don't know Dana. I believe, yeah. I don't know if that's good info or not for you, Kenley, but have definitely heard of Dana being involved, and I think has been deployed recently.
And deployment like probably 5 years ago or something like that, when
Okay,
you were
there we
still
go.
very much with your parent, when your parents still very much had you under their thumb.
Yeah, still had to
and-
attend to things.
Yeah, exactly. And like I think the Dana would have figured out from context clues that Dana was at that point part of the armed forces of the city state. So and that the deployment seemed to have been some kind of peacekeeping mission. So they mentioned that they were very proud of her. She's already saying something of the thing that she'd already made it to colonel rank. So pretty high up in the armed forces.
And in like her early 30s, you said, so early and like young for a rank like that would be like.
She's been shooting up in the ranks in the armed forces, which you figured would be partially nepotism, but also partially very, very competent. And that is something that Kinley can echo. Like she's a very competent military commander, and she's like one of the really nasty things about her is that she can. The rumors in the battle group were that she could see through any lie.
Definitely to avoid her.
And if she, again, I don't know exactly when she activated, but she at least would become one of us.
Okay. In that case, you would also inform the party of what she looked like when transformed. And when transformed, she was aged back quite a bit, looking like the ideal form that she has of herself. Woman in her prime, not very broad, but definitely muscular, wielding a shield, similar to the logo of the company,
Mhm.
and a spear similar to the spear that the company has. And based on what you've heard about her, you figure that she'd fall in like either guardian or an unlikely hero as
Mhm.
and you don't know how she activated, so you wouldn't know if she was active right now.
And there's superheroes, makes sense. They're supervillains, right? Right.
I do believe she believes she's a hero. It's part of the problem.
So do
They
most,
usually do.
right?
I wonder what I do wonder what emotion fuels her then, and if there's well, if we can find that out, that might be a useful bit of information to have on our side. Can't really transform if you ain't feeling it.
Would I know that?
No.
Mhm.
Like, you would have operated alongside her, and she definitely seems very protective.
Mhm.
Like, protective of, she seemed protective of innocence, protective of her squad, and protective of the cities. But she didn't particularly seem. You didn't particularly get like a very strong emotion out of her.
Mhm.
She means well. She really does, and her heart is in the right place. But it's very easy to get caught up in what's directly in front of you instead of a bigger picture. That's where I think that's where she's fallen short on her convictions.
Mm.
Okay, so avoid stern-looking, potentially magic lady.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
Good start.
I wonder if it's possible to start a clock, please.
What clock would you like to start?
Find Dana's driving emotion.
Very well. That is actually quite difficult, so I'll call it an 8-segment clock.
Gotcha.
Find what drives. And I'm assuming you want this as a downtime project.
Not because we're currently quite open in terms of what we are doing here, and that could be to like find the bottling plant and destroy it. Go and steal a full can of the thing to have larger substance. Understand the person that's operating this space and then be able to go and take them apart using subterfuge. We have options here. So, you know, if we fill any of those goals, we probably have a useful enough information to do that and bail. I float the idea that we go and find out about another powered person and then leave and use that information later, but that's just my suggestion.
Okay. Well, it is definitely an option. However, you've been standing in the you have been standing in the hallway talking about this for a little while, and at this point, you do see like other guards moving your way, and you feel like it's time to start getting a move on. You still haven't been found out yet. However, this discussion was long enough to count as an action.
Oh, okay.
Mark,
Fair enough.
I would have said walk and talk, but I didn't think.
Let's go.
I mean, even if you
I
walk and
understood
talk,
actions
it
as
would
roles
be
we were
an
making,
action.
but I get
Right.
that the pressure's on. We need to keep moving.
I do
Yeah,
think
it feels like that.
Kinley is going to kind of bring up the rear, and is just going to kind of watch, and if anyone we pass is like giving us a funny look, you know, if they
Giving a vibe.
if anyone's giving a vibe as we pass, I'm going to do my
Okay.
best. to notice.
Yeah, I'll actually have you make a test for that.
Oh boy.
Let's go ahead and call it. It's perceive is probably what it is.
What's perceive? Have we rolled perceive yet?
I do believe we have rolled perceive before, but I'd be
Oh,
more than
okay.
happy to remind those who
forgot
are
it
interested in knowing. Of course. Let's go and get that.
I'm sure I couldn't convince you to change it to analyze.
No.
Because I'm trying to analyze their reactions.
No,
I'll
you're
just try.
actively
I
like
assumed.
looking. You're looking through, trying to keep an eye on what they're doing. You could also, like, obviously try to see if someone else within the group is able to do that for you.
Mhm.
But for now, no, I'm afraid not.
For
I see.
perceive, when you perceive, you see the world as it presents itself without judgment. You might observe someone and note their daily routine. You might see the beauty present in even the darkest and strangest corners of the world. Versus analyze, just for reference. When you analyze, you search beyond the surface presentation of the world and discover secrets. You might study an ancient book for information on magic rituals. You might discern a gap in your foe's defenses.
For those of you who are D&D heads, it's the difference between perception and investigation.
Yes.
Hmm.
So I have no pips in that, so I have to roll 2d6 and take the
roll
lowest.
twice, roll twice, lose one. So the devil's bargain I'll give you is you are actively looking and you are kindling it. So you are looking a little bit too close to people. So while you would be better at figuring them out, they'll also start getting a little suspicious of you, which would start a clock. I'll say the guards are suspicious.
Yeah.
Call it a 4-parter. Which is going to evolve like the guards have raised the alert. However, if you just look around you with no extra dice, this is not going to bring you into any difficulty. It'll just say if you get the information.
Okay. Yeah, I do not need that devil's bargain. Thank you kindly.
Okay,
Cool.
let's see. That is a failure.
At 4,
A 4 is a fail?
4 is a partial success.
Withdraw and try a different approach, or else do it with minor consequence. A minor complication occurs. You have reduced effect. You suffer lesser harm, or you end up in a risky position. I'll say that I'll allow you to do it. I'll allow you to figure out what they have got going on for them. However, in doing so, Kinley is a little distracted and is going to stumble and sprain their ankle. So minor consequence. You can actually resist that harm as well.
I really just wanted to see if anyone like turned and gave us a funny look. This is so much. I don't know. I just wanted to see if anyone looked back at us.
So I'll give you that. No one seems to be like paying any explicit attention to you. And anything beyond that would be like the thing I just described.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I just wanted to see if anyone's like,
Okay. Yeah. No, people don't seem to like. It seems to be a regular occurrence that new people are pulled in. They seem to be busy, going about their day, professional as always. And at this point, you'll find yourself at one of the security doors, which has a card reader on it.
All right, then. You will have your security cards on hand. Fabulous. Beep, beep.
Cool. You swipe it, and it goes beep, beep, boop. Access denied.
I'll try mine.
Beep, beep, boop. Access denied.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna have to have another conversation, you and I. Would you mind kind of keeping an eye out while I handle this? I'll try and keep it swift.
What you realize, by the way, is that your key cards would have given the key cards you have are security cards, so they give access to the security areas. And what you immediately realize from this, you get that for free, is apparently whoever Interbevco is, they don't necessarily fully trust their security forces.
For some
So the
areas,
security
they're
forces
still off
aren't
limits.
cleared into the high security areas.
Is this like a hallway, or are we like out in an open space?
This is a hallway, so
Okay.
people
so-
might approach eventually, but you're not hearing footfalls yet.
I think we have Hannah and Kenley go to kind of one end of the hall, and the twins kind of go to the other end of the hall. So if there are footsteps, we can like intercept them before they come around and see someone messing with the.
Yeah,
And
amazing.
while doing that, if actively trying to like see/hear if any scientists are coming by, or like see if they're talking about, just overall like keeping a lookout and ear out to potentially important
Yeah.
information.
Okay, so go ahead and roll for that one, Nathan.
Sure. Just deciding on the appropriate methods therein.
I can by the way give you a devil's bargain here, which is the way you're doing it is slightly rushed and less than effective. Too effective maybe a little bit. And it would like fuse the lock after you're done with it, so it becomes really obvious that someone has tampered with it when someone eventually gets to it, which would just start another clock.
Right. I don't think I need to take that. This is kind of I'm framing this as an investigation role more than anything else. This is
You're trying to essentially pull like the keycard combinations out of it and then blast it onto
at best we get the keycard combinations on hand. Failing that, I understand specifically what that sector is by having a conversation with the security network. So I'd love to make an empathize roll while I go and have a chat with the security systems inherent. I do investigation rolls at +1 die, so I am rolling 3d6 for this.
Okay, go ahead and roll for it.
Oh, sorry, misclicked. I need to roll 3, please.
That's okay.
There we
Roll
go.
2 additional.
Yeah. Let me clear that. 1, 2. Whoa. Better than a partial? Better than a partial. That's a full success, baby.
That's actually a full success. Yeah. So as you reach into it, do you get questions from this one?
Yes, when I'm investigating, I do indeed get a question.
Go ahead and ask your question.
I would love to ask. Oh, am I going to be selfish here? I can technically ask the questions on other people's playbooks as well, but I am very, very tempted to go and ask my playbook question of where can I gain an edge?
Where can you gain an edge? Okay, so as you tap into the lock, you pretty much immediately are able to follow up that tap into the rest of the security systems. You have now gained your edge. As you reach into the security systems, there's you now essentially have access. And you'll keep access while you're relatively close by. So so long as you're in the facility, you'll have access unless someone actively does something to kick you out. As you sweep through it, there's a couple of things you realize. One, there is a room that doesn't have camera supervision. 2, you get shipping manifests for the place. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is absolutely normal. That's like they're getting a whole bunch of syrup imported. They're getting powdered caffeine. So it's clear that this is the manufacturing facility. They are also getting a whole bunch of medical supplies, which might set you off to a bit of worry. You also are able to get their information on power draw just from reaching into the power lines. And what you realize is that there are essentially 3 rooms in high security. One of them seems to be consistently drawing not that much power. You figure probably a room with a couple of computers in it. One of them draws power on a burst sequence, which you figure is probably the bottling plant. And one of them is consistently drawing a ton of power. That's the one where the cameras aren't.
With that, where the cameras are not. Ooh, suspicious. Bottling, and then consistent.
And as you analyze this, you are able to grab your key card, tap it, and then swipe it, and beep 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 beep. Access granted, and the door slides open. And it opens up into this airlock system where you actually look up and you see one of those chemical showers.
So we have to
tech
disinfect
question.
to go through.
Yeah. Is this
What's the rest of you do?
tech question? Is that the thing you got access to?
Mhm.
Is the same thing where you could potentially cancel some orders, or is that a different thing? Like the orders for the
You have
things.
access to the restricted network right now.
Mm,
And the orders are on the PMC's network. And
see.
also, at this point, good point, mark.
Mhm.
At this point, the orders have essentially gone through into their central system and are being dispersed down. And essentially, when it's at 6 marks, someone has to sign for it, and they're going to go like, "Wait, we're not supposed to have new people."
Mm-hmm.
Unless we're lucky, and they are supposed to have new people.
Unless we're lucky. As
we have
Enrico,
a flashback for them getting new people that didn't show up.
Can we give
High
someone else a
stress.
memory?
Exactly.
We incept someone else.
as Enrico stops having the conversation with the security system, and he kind of turns back to the rest of you and says, "That was really exhausting." And you can like see sparks crackling across his tongue as he's speaking to you. It usually happens when he's communicating with things, but it's still firing. Doesn't look comfortable. Please don't make me keep doing that.
Oh God, thank you for doing it.
Are you okay?
Anything we can do to help?
Just let me give you the rundown first, he says, hesitating before he answers that question, and kind of relays, like, we move with the door unlocked, we move through it and kind of let the security door close on the other side before we go hit a disinfect button or whatever. At least this room is small and closed, so we're not being watched.
There's no like security booth or anything. They figured that if you have the key card and you're getting through, you've at this point gone through a lot of nasty things. So
when he was
Well-
going through the cameras, did you see how people are dressed? Is everyone in like street clothes here? Would we have
That's
gotten
a
that
good
info
question.
when he looked through the cameras?
As you did a sweep over the different cameras, you actually don't see that many people. It's later at night at this point, so a lot of people have like gone home for the night. The night shift, there seems to be two different kinds. There's people like in coveralls who are working on loading stuff into the loading docks, and there are people in like generally like business casual clothing with lab coats over them. And Rosie, Hannah would know if she sees some of these. Like these are lab coats that have the occasional like stain and burn on them. So generally there is some form of research being done here, and these are actually people who are doing work rather than wearing the lab coat for optics reasons.
So that makes her happy because she knows there's a lab here now.
Yeah, they apparently got in a very large amount of medical supplies, so it stands to reason that it also have, I guess, medical PPE, which might be something to put over our military uniform for the time being. Baffle at a distance, at the very least.
Yeah, if we can find some.
Yeah, I think I
One
know
thing
the
that you
route.
did know is that you did notice that no one really seems to be wearing security garb in here.
Perhaps we change out of these.
If we change, like, is the top part something that we can just remove and just have like casual, like t-shirt or whatever we were wearing before.
You were wearing like military style coveralls, but you probably I'll say that you pulled it on over your regular clothing because you don't want to leave your clothing in the armor.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want to do a Metal Gear Solid having to cartwheel around naked around corners.
Right?
Yeah,
like
please.
That, so.
Don't try to sneak. The clapping will alert all of the
dummy thick.
Hey chat,
solid
which one of
snake.
us is the most dummy thick? You decide.
Oh my god.
Enrico. I just decided for chat. Sorry, we've all been thinking. You made a very pretty character. I just have to say.
The character, oh no, he's hot as a character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we should probably like removing find the medical supplies and see if we can at least get
and
some
as
goggles.
you get in there, you hit the disinfect, and there's just,
Hold your breath.
and then the cloud of mist rushes out, and the door goes beep, 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 and opens, and it opens into what seems to be like a dressing room kind of deal. There's a bunch of lab coats that are hanging on the walls. They do all have name tags on them. So it seems like people have their own name tags. And no, these are actually stitched on name tags. So you figure as you start pulling off lab coats and putting them on that you would probably be able to fool someone at a distance, but not up close.
Yeah, if they
You are
had
still
to
in the
inspect
control
a name
position.
tag, it would immediately fall apart. But hopefully we don't have to get to that kind of sitch. How far away is medical supplies from here?
So
or a lab actually, since we however we can expedient to Hannah mode.
Yeah, what you've essentially got at this point is as you walk onto the balustrade you end up in a balustrade where you're looking down from a walkway into the bottling facility, and there's like a whole bunch of vats cooking up something. There's steam rising up. There's still noise is happening, and they seem to be in active production. As 24 packs of these little energy drink cans are getting put into cardboard boxes and then covered in plastic, and then driven over to trucks. And as you look around, this doesn't seem like the kind of operation that you would have if you were doing free tastings. This is the kind of operation you're doing when you already know, oh, we are going to start selling this.
Mass producing, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to start delivering. Maybe not mass produce, but enough to like supply a whole bunch of shops.
This certainly doesn't seem like a student-led operation.
No.
Very much doesn't.
Finally getting there.
Yeah, it seems incredibly professional. So as you look down on the over the balustrade, over the walkways, around you see a couple of like office spaces. There seems to be, and then on the other side of the factory floor, once again on the top part of the floor of the level, you see two what seems to be two rooms. One of them has like mirrored obscured glass, and from a distance you can see that it has infirmary written over top it, and the other one doesn't have obscured glass, but it has these large glass panels where onlookers could look in. It has its own airlock, and that has laboratory written over it.
Not that Kinley would know this, but player question. Is the infirmary the place that has no cameras?
Correct. The laboratory as well, by the way. They seem to be very, very serious about their proprietary research.
Why would a bottling company need an infirmary? At least one of that size. That's rather not small.
And
Yeah,
all
I
the
mean, like
medical
workers get hurt
supplies?
all the time and stuff, but that seems excessive.
Don't tell me they're testing this on site.
I wish I could.
I mean, it'd be really smart to, I mean, not that this is good or smart, but to have your test subjects in your lab so if stuff goes wrong, you can immediately jot down the
My
data. And she's like in
concern-
science mode.
Well,
My
didn't-
concern is a little more personal use of the test subjects. Maybe.
Mm.
But-
An
It-
infirmary kind of hints at humans, because otherwise it'd be a veterinary. So,
At this
Yeah.
point, by the way, you hear a shh and a
uh-oh.
as behind you,
Someone
the
else.
airlock has activated, and
Ooh.
someone is coming in.
we should
We're
go.
on the code. Go.
All right, let's hustle.
Look for more Italian names. That at a glance, grab.
Karina Papadopoulos, let's go.
All right. Let's poke at this infirmary first, then, shall we?
And the infirmary was the one that did not have you couldn't see inside, so it would be a place to hide maybe if
No
the people are not
cameras,
going there.
No window
Yeah.
inside, and drawing high power, and I'm very curious. To see
Yeah,
what
exactly.
That is.
But do keep
Definitely.
in mind they could see in from the
That was the
The lab.
laboratory you can see into. That has these thick glass sidings, and
Right.
then the infirmary seems to have privacy glass type
Mm.
deals. Although Enrico would know that this is the kind of stuff that is electrically activated, so it could be
Ooh.
switched off if they want to see inside.
That fun
Okay.
style of polarized glass.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
would assume that from the lab you could the two-way glass goes.
No idea. You can't see
Okay.
you can't see into the lab well enough to see that. They don't seem to be connected.
Mhm.
Okay.
To the lab. Or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, to the infirmary.
Infirmary. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so you rush towards the infirmary, and at this point, I would like everyone.
Mhm.
This is a group check, so I'm going to ask who is leading, because I would like everyone to make me a conceal check as you're trying to sneak through unnoticed.
Okay.
I will say, with the amount of preparation that you've all done, I'll count you all at +1.
Okay. I currently have 1 in conceal. I don't know if anybody else is better.
I have none conceal.
I'm the
in
only
mi-
one with concealer. Goodness.
Keep in mind-
How do
keep
you
in mind-
contour?
Yeah, keep
She
in mind that
can't
the
lie.
leader- keep
I'm
in
more
mind
the
about
one that
standing
takes the
out than I am
stress,
blending
right?
in.
Keep in mind that the leader of the group action should probably be the person with the most stress to give.
Yeah, I was
Mhm.
gonna say, the twins have 3 stress, so if we need someone to take stress,
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so in that case, I imagine that the twins are quickly ushering you forward as they've heard. They're probably the first to hear the doors open with
Yeah.
their magical ears.
yeah.
So as you start rushing, can everyone go ahead and make me a conceal check? And I'm going to go and mark 3 left.
Oh, I'm
That's a
trying to roll
fail.
physical dice. That's so silly.
So that's the first one is a falter, and that is actually a point of stress. The second one is from Sunny. Do you
Did my
have
roll
0?
go? Because it's not showing for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You rolled a
I
4
have
and a 1.
0.
So
Yeah.
that's
failure
the
for me.
second falter. 2
Mhm.
stress.
I'll roll mine.
Next person to roll.
A 4,
That's
so
a
that is a
4.
success.
So it is in fact a success.
Mhm.
And I know exactly what is going to happen with the risky position that you'll get into unless Kinley.
Mm.
Kinley succeeds. Oh no, fails because
It's a 0d6 roll.
it's
I
0
guess.
to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 3
Is
stress
that-
for
okay.
the twins. As you all start rushing towards the infirmary, you hear footfalls on the walkway. As the infirmary there slides shut behind you. You look around in the infirmary, and there are currently 11 beds filled out of the 20 beds in the infirmary. There
Right.
seems to be some kind of energy crackling across them, almost like there's a force fields over the people who are lying there. Some kind of restriction field. All of them seem to be in either. They're not asleep. They're too quiet for people who are asleep. They're probably in some, especially with the drips that you see, in some form of medically induced coma. You look around and you see pretty much every one of them matches the description of the people you were around. And Hannah, you see, as you're walking through, checking them, you actually see the person who was defiling your tree. Who's lying down
Yeah, I was
there,
gonna ask.
Mm-hmm.
asleep, or in or comatose. And at this point, risky position.
Mhm.
Door opens behind you, and you all dive behind various kinds of furniture, out of the way, out of sight, as two individuals come walking in. One, a tall woman with tan skin and darker hair, and one, a shorter man with glasses. And at this point, Sunny, would you like to describe your parents who are coming walking in?
And you should ask Tavernot. I didn't think that through. But a very tall, I'm assuming wearing a lab coat, both of them. A very tall, very elegant woman. You can see the few accessories that she could keep on her are very expensive looking. The shoes, everything about her just exudes rich asshole, and has an air of, like she's the one that is probably here to look, and I'm assuming maybe explain to this man next to her, like the details of the research or whatever it is that they're doing here. I would assume her hair is the same color as the twins, and their father, short, glasses, looks cranky, also wearing very expensive clothes, but cares a little less about his appearance than the mother, and a little look of superiority. And would you like to correct me?
Now, important question.
Yeah.
How do the twins react to this?
They are
Because the
very
rest of you
stressed.
don't know this yet, although you kind of do see some family resemblance, but you all probably haven't put one and one together yet. So how do the twins react to seeing this happening?
They're shocked, stressed, probably very concerned now, and trying very hard to hide. They don't talk to their parents much. They're usually too busy. They're not, in the happiest of terms. They didn't want to, continue doing what the family was doing, surprisingly. Who would have thought now, learning this? But they didn't really quite know exactly what their parents worked on. And they're a little not happy to be seeing them here in the scene that they are investigating, seeing, the state. And
all of you
seems very fitting that they're very stressed now.
All of you see the response of the twins, and Kinley, you have something. Okay, you have something.
2 questions. When we came in and did a quick sweep, did we see the missing employee who didn't call in sick to the coffee shop but just never showed up?
Oh, yeah.
That's juicy, yo.
No, you do not.
Okay.
But thanks for reminding me.
Oh, I don't know if I like that or don't.
Yeah, right. We are missing one. We are missing one.
Shit.
And 2, the question I have to ask every time, and I'm so sorry. Does Kenley recognize these people?
Yes. However, I'll tell you that in a bit.
Oh, fantastic.
Speaking of, so as they're coming in, you all see the twins immediately have this visceral reaction. Not quite sure why, but there's something going on here, and the woman just immediately marches up to the first one, goes, so are the are they responding? Are they responding to the treatments? And begins tapping something out, and you the force field deactivates temporarily as she's starting to like lift up the arm, takes a pulse, open the eyes, see it does like a check with a flashlight, just your general medical things, and turns back on. And as they're talking about Project Ascendance is
Project
they
Ascendance?
start moving forward, and increase the drip, increase the drip on this one by let's say 5. Yeah, this one seems to be promising. Carrying on, they're just talking amongst themselves, and they're slowly starting to get towards you, where you are sitting. And at that point, we're going to take a break. So we'll be right back after these messages. The messages are panic.
Panic.
Bye. you in fuck, everything is going to hell in a handbasket. Apparently the parents of our lovely twins are in here now, and they're talking about a Project Ascendance, and they are considering these test candidates have proven viability. So we need to make sure we keep them here, and make sure that that nothing goes awry with them as they turn back on, as they turn the third force field back on and walk over to the next one, turn the force field off, and they're about 2 beds away from you. And as they turn this force field off, light begins to crackle across the veins of this person who's in the bed, and their mouth begins to glow a little bit, and their eyes begin to shed a little bit of light, and bam! Red button gets hit. Power force field reactivates, and it just turns off.
I think at this point, Kinley is like,
okay, we need to be more careful with this one. Mark this one for shipment. And something gets written down on a piece of paper and gets hung down next to the thing. On to the next one.
At this point, Hannah's going to jump up from her hiding place.
Who are you?
I am so sorry. New intern here, Karina Papadopoulos. I tripped on a wire. I'm so sorry. I was just sorting myself out. I was just heading to the lab. I'm so sorry. I was checking some data for y'all.
Okay. At this point, I would like you to attempt
Express.
I'm trying to figure. I don't think Express is. No, you hide your true intentions and your feelings. You might pass a notice to just another face in the crowd, or you might choke down your true feelings and lie to someone. You're concealing.
I have no pips in that.
Okay.
Let's try.
A devil's bargain, or did
Yeah,
anyone
anything
have a
devil's bargain or
link?
anything?
Just
The
pen.
method of helping.
Can I use a link? I have 3 with Aria and Alto.
So people use a link on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Let's
I believe.
Do that then.
Yeah, Nathan, you have links available.
Yes, I do currently have a link with Hannah, which I will spend. Let me
Okay.
go and double check my options of what I can spend that link on.
I can offer devil's bargain as well, right?
Okay, yeah, you can.
I
you
don't
can
know
search.
how bad that would be, but like they
I like it.
believe Hannah, but they actually try to get her to do the work now, like getting her more involved in the thing with things that like interns
yeah,
would do.
I actually like this. Like if they believe you, they are the kind of people who would like go, oh, extra pair of hands, great, means I have to do less work.
oh, good, the help is here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
You can do the things we don't want to do,
Mhm.
which I don't think Hannah would like. But
Ugh.
That
yeah,
makes it the devil's bargain.
Cool. So with that devil's bargain, if you want to take it, and that helping for me, you are rolling 2d6 instead of none, so that's good.
I will take that devil's bargain. I like it. Hannah hates it. Okay, 2d6. Let's go. Please be something good. That was only 1. Let's roll a second one because I know how this works. Okay.
4 is a partial. We take
4
that.
is a partial.
Partial on a risky position, so you do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, you have reduced effect, or you end up in a desperate position. Speaking of, Marky.
Mm-hmm. So
Don't
that
worry
was just the 3.
Cat. You're at 2 left now.
Oh, to 4. Okay. I'm also trying to keep track.
So you do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, you have reduced effect, or you end in a desperate position. Okay, so the a complication is going to occur as they begin to disable they were busy disabling the force field, and they're now turning towards you. And they're talking to you as they're distracted. And they're like, wait, who are you? You're sorry. I was supposed to be informed of any new additions to the team. Giuseppe, what? Explain your incompetence. And Giuseppe starts being a little bit annoyed back at her, and they definitely seem to be like mistrusting of you, and she seems to be like reaching to a panel to start confirming your story.
I mean, my hiring manager was Jason. I've heard that he's kind of dropped the ball lately.
That's the wrong thing to say.
Oh no!
I'm going to allow you to take back because you would realize Jason is the HR for the
military. I realized it as I was saying it. I will take
so you're allowed to do a take back here because your character clearly wouldn't.
Rewind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they're reaching for a console to do something here.
Well, here's the thing that is going to happen, which is the complication. As they are talking to Hannah, you look behind them and you see that light, this reddish light is starting to flare in the veins of that person who's lying there, and it's slowly reaching up to their neck, and there's this spider pattern of veins as. And she's just admonishing Giuseppe and is trying to not actively listening to what you're saying, but she's like attempting to interrogate you to figure out what the fuck you're doing here, because this is a secure facility and you're not supposed to be here, Missy, especially if you haven't been cleared by me. What do the rest of you do as this happens?
Press the button.
Rosie.
Seeing how they shut down the other person that was lighting up, can I try to...
Yeah, that was like one of those, the emergency shut-off
buttons?
The
shut-off buttons.
Yeah, there's one of those there.
I would like to lunge for that, which hopefully stops whatever's happening from happening and shows that I'm competent with this lab.
Okay, you know what? I'll call that a desperate. You're dashing past her. She's going to, and she's probably going to attempt to stop you. So because you're doing something in her lab, that's her lab. You better not. I'll call it the desperate flow.
Flow. I got nothing in that.
Unless you want to argue for a different. The only different one.
Can I argue for Defy? Yeah.
I could see Defy as you like standing up against her, going like, "Hey, Hey, be careful! This is about to happen. Let me stop it."
Yeah. Just move. Stop. Okay.
Move and get out of the way. So first off, that's desperate roll. First desperate roll of the game. So I am going to do a little marky mark on your. Sun track, which puts you to Sun XP. And then, what does everyone else do as this is occurring?
I think I would like to transcend here.
Okay.
And start getting that track going. And I want to essentially become a spark within the system and turn the lights out.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you begin. Music starts playing as that only the audience can hear. Luckily enough, as sparks begin to crackle and your face lights up for a second, definitely giving off light in the rest of the room. Transcendence is not a sneaky thing, but as that is happening, how do you try to spark out the light as your transcendence finalizes and then?
Yeah, I think we get this transcendence. The suit manifests. The head becomes a ball of plasma. It was flickering. It's flickering a bit. He's still like tired. And the helmet doesn't manifest. Instead, he like puts his hand to like an outlet by where he's been crouching and vanishes into the electrics.
Okay. What skill are you using to do this?
I would like to go and use Analyze here in that I'm understanding the electrics of the system and specifically turning off the
Targeting the
lights
right bit.
rather
Yeah,
than trying to...
a little warning here: you are in a desperate position, and you absolutely don't want to get a fail on this one.
That's fine. The Fortune the Dark games are about making desperate rolls.
Yes.
I'm glad you're giving me EXP.
I know you were going to do that. I just wanted to be sure about that one.
Delicious.
Sarah, okay, Rosie, go ahead and roll.
Okay, so it is just 1.
That's
3.
That's a 3. So it's the worst outcome. You suffer severe harm, a serious complication occurs, or you lose this opportunity for action. I'll say that you actually do slam the button.
Mm-hmm.
However, as you slam the button, the little pad that she has finalizes, and she looks at you and goes, "There is no mention of there's no mention of you being added here. You can come with me while we talk to security." As she's going to actually like grab you and pull your arms behind you, and you feel she has a really strong grip strength. You feel your arms beginning to bruise as you're being put into an arm lock by her. So what is going to happen is you succeed in turning it off.
Ooh.
That's the good news. The bad news is 1, you are now held down by her, and 2, you are going to suffer a level 1 harm, which is honestly like cut off circulation, like your wrists are hurting.
Oh.
Do you want to resist any of that? Because you can do that.
No, I think she's gonna comply. She's trying to get them out of the lab, so if they're taking her to security, it opens the room for her team.
Does it look like they're going to go together, or does it look like
Guys staying behind.
Yeah.
It looks like they're. It looks like the guy is like starting to make ways to follow.
Okay.
The guy in this, the guy here seems to be like more of the following type.
Yeah.
Bruised wrist is what I'll call it.
Bruised wrist. Okay.
Kinley's going to look very quickly at the twins. You, Doctor, like,
And
it's taken all
as
this time
happens,
looking from hair to hair. It's finally
Because-
connected.
yeah, there is something else that is actively happening. As Hannah gets her wrists bruised by friendly friends, the annoying
friendly.
parents. Enrico, Enrico jumps into the power and starts rushing through. Go ahead and do your analyze.
Sure. I'm going to push myself and take 2 stress and roll an additional die, meaning I'm rolling 3d6.
How close are you to...
That puts me at 8 of 9.
Oh boy.
That's intentional, don't worry. Cool. So we are rolling 1, 2, 3d6. For a desperate roll, I will mark that point.
Yes, you will. In analyze,
Of
right?
EXP on that and analyze, so that's a point of stars EXP, and that's a 6, so I do it.
Amazing. Okay, no, that's the wrong side. This is the right side. There we go, and that marked. Okay, so you do it. So you jump into the system, and here's what you realize could have gone incredibly wrong. As you're jumping through the wires, the wires for the lighting are very close and very similar looking to the wires for the security systems. And had you rolled a 3 or below, you would have disabled the security systems, and at least 2 transformations would have started happening. That didn't happen. Good news.
Funny you should say that. Sorry, go describe the.
As the lights go out, this actually does give Hannah an opportunity to like get out of the grip as they're looking around going, like, "What's happening? What?"
Yep, she'd like to take her skinny wrists out of that grip.
Okay. I mean, I'll call that. Yeah, defying.
Yeah. Okay, 1 die. Oh, okay. Success with consequence.
Success with consequence.
Maybe she breaks her wrist on the way out.
No. You're in a desperate position, so keep in mind that you are getting a mark out of this.
Ooh.
However, as you do this, a serious complication occurs, and the serious complication is at this point they're thinking you're doing this. So the woman is going to yell, Giuseppe, sound the alarm, and Giuseppe is going to push a button that would start the mass alarm. However, you can resist that, and anyone can intercede as well. I'll call that doing a teamwork protecting, so facing the danger in their place. Anyone can resist it.
Yeah, just to double check, because it would be a shame if I turned off the lights and succeeded with a 6 and just made things worse for everybody. So
you did not make things. You did succeed, and Hannah is free now, and you are all now free to act in the pandemonium that is created.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am very low on stress, so I'm happy to lead it if we need.
Protect would be like stepping in, and you describe what you're doing to resist instead of Hannah resisting.
Oh, so it's not. I thought it was a teamwork role.
No, this is protecting, which you're also allowed to do here.
Yeah.
Would you?
I am happy to hop out, or whom?
I'm still in they haven't seen you all yet mode. So if I can keep them distracted and moving out of that space, I'm okay to do that.
Yeah, the good news is with that flash that has happened, and with the fact that things are moving and pandemonium has been created, they would be less likely to realize that the rest of you are in there, which I believe the twins are very happy with.
Yeah, I guess. Yep. Part of my intention of getting into the systems itself is to kind of, commune with them without being physically in the room, like to echo through the console as Mans is reaching towards the alarm button.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Oh God. So you are resisting here.
Yeah, I can make the resistance to kind of interfere.
Are you sure about that?
You are so stressed.
What are the stakes are you setting? We can have a conversation about it.
Oh no, there's no stakes that I'm setting. I just look at your stress track, and resisting is would mean 6 stress minus your highest result, so it's pretty likely to have you eclipse.
I am aware.
Let's fucking go.
I wanted to be sure, and I'm very happy to continue. So we'll call that probably a stars or a sun resist.
I mean, I'm more than happy for it to be a stars resist.
In that case, it's consequences from panic. So go ahead and roll for your resist roll.
Okay, we're gonna go roll 2d6 because I have 2 stats in stars: analyze and conceal.
Time to find out how eclipsing works.
5, so I take 1 point of stress, which does put me in eclipse, but that's fine.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. So, would you like to inform the group what eclipsing does?
Just a second, because I think in this system, you actually, when you get to the point of eclipsing, you need to roll to see if you eclipse.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I'm asking Nathan to explain.
Sure, I am currently at the moment spinning a couple plates with character sheet stuff, but let me go find
I'm happy to do it for you if you want.
Please do.
Okay, amazing. So, eclipse. even the protagonists have moments where they do not live up to their heroic identity. All the ways they've been taught by their society to hate themselves and doubt their own truth compromise them from the inside. They indulge in their worst impulses or push themselves to dangerous extremes, struggling with the impossible demands the world has placed on their shoulders. When you fall into Eclipse, your inner turmoil and self-destruction manifests. Each playbook has a unique When You Eclipse prompt that describes the mindset that takes hold of your character while they are in Eclipse. It also includes an escape clause, which will need to be satisfied in order to return to normal. Eclipse shows us as reflections of the protagonists, but through a broken mirror, a fractured and dysfunctional counterpoint to their identities that threatens to bring about their downfall. It also shows a possible future, a version of reality in which our heroes have turned away from their destiny, and the world is left unredeemed. Mechanically, how this is going to work is when you reach or exceed your stress limit, congratulations, you roll for Eclipse using your lowest attribute. While at your stress limit and not in Eclipse, any additional stress you would take instead triggers another Eclipse roll. On a 1 or a 3, you are in Eclipse. On a 4 or a 5, another protagonist can push themselves or spend a link to keep you from succumbing. If they do not, treat it as a 1 to 3 result, and you're in Eclipse. Or 6, you hold on to the hope and stay in the struggle. The next time you take stress, roll for Eclipse again. And on a critical success, erase 1 spent segment of your Transcendence track and recover 5 stress. In addition, on a critical, we're going by... what is your lowest stat?
That would be Moon at none.
And you
so
can't.
I'd be rolling 2
Can
and
you
picking the
critical
lowest.
on Moon?
I cannot critical if I'm rolling
Yeah.
0.
Yeah. So in that case, we'll leave criticals for another time.
Sure. All right, Eclipse roll.
Yeah, go ahead.
I still rolled a 3, so I Eclipse.
Oh wait, yeah. In Foundry, I see you rolling a 5.
Right, because it's doing the total.
Yeah, exactly. So you are in Eclipse. Go ahead and tell us what happens. You first tell us how you prevent him from sounding the alarm, and then tell us what happens as you Eclipse.
So this is kind of a combined thing. As Giuseppe, has the other lady introduced herself vocally by name yet? By the by.
Double checking. No, but her name would have been said at some point, and you see the name tags and stuff, so you would know that she is named Alessia Allegri.
Okay. Yes. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Mr. Allegri. As the hand hesitates just before, like it's an electronic thrumming. Is it coming out of the speakers of the monitor? Is it just coming out of the wires, just vibrating in the
out
walls
of the everything
everywhere? As in currently, there is a body to Leyline. We are transcended after all. We are not Enrico, but there is no body physically here. There is a detachment involved, and almost looking from a distance in the bird's eye view of the room, and we glance back to the conversation we were having in the research lab within Awa, where feeling a sense of anger is what caused those things to trigger. And that's a risk here. There is so much of that material in this building. Raising anger is like a powder keg. So the best way to resolve this circumstance is to feel nothing. There are just people here. I don't need to know them. And as far as we are in this room, I do not know them until circumstances change. I've been looking to have a conversation with you both.
Okay. So they're hearing this, and what are you? Is this you, Miss Papadopoulos?
Not me. Must be something funky with the system.
Let your researcher go. This conversation is private, and I'm sure you wouldn't want your employees to hear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I'll say I'll give you this for eclipsing. You do it. You they are thoroughly. He goes, yes. You get out of here. Wait by the door. We'll get to you later. Now, who are you? What are you? And what are you doing in our system?
This is about Project Descendants and some of your employees, after all. Call me a concerned member of, well, what you're chasing after. You seem to be working very hard to get people to where I am.
At this
one
point,
of the
by the way,
lights
the
flickers
rest of you
on
are
above
able
one
to
of
get
like
out.
the people. Sorry, repeat that.
Yeah, at this point, the rest of you are able to get out, and however, Kinley, you've seen what is happening, and you do not like. The rest of you haven't seen eclipsing yet, I don't think.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'll leave it up to you, Kinley. Do you stay or do you go?
I think Kinley has just been like, it finally clicked. Like, you know, Dr. Allegri, you know. And then, like, it should have been obvious to anyone else between the name and the hair color. It just absolutely had not clicked. And yeah, Kinley is like, oh, we got to. And no, Kinley is going to stay hidden within the room.
I am going to ask Nathan at this point. Does Enrico want the other? Well, honestly, not Enrico at this point. Leyline, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does Leyline want the other protagonists in this room with him?
I don't think he cares. Which is not I, Nathan, don't care. It's it's more
Eclipse
of a kind of like,
Leyline.
hey, I've given people an out. They can do what they like, but we're keeping these people here and having a conversation while you can go and do whatever subterfuge and sabotage your little heart's desire.
Yeah.
That is completely fair. So in that case, and Kinley, you do get that sense of a feeling that at this point, Leyline is beyond caring.
Kinley has another thing they'd like to do in this room potentially, so we'll just look at the other two and like.
And I'll wave the twins like towards
The
the
twins
door.
are very much trying to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, but at this point, the conversation commences as figures someone would find it out. Well, please do stay on the line. Can we take this somewhere else?
But seeing the fruits of your labor is so fun to stare at.
Fine. Talk.
Excellent. Unfortunately, what gave the game away was somebody you've been working with. Somebody else who's managed to achieve what you have not.
She looks at you. She looks at the room around her, and then there's this look of anger on her face as she just hits one button on the pad, and then a second one, and that you at this point are in control. So you see what is opening up on her window, and there's like a number of contracts that are active, and one of them is Aegis, and she hits a red button next to it that says terminate. At this point you see her swipe away and open up a different screen as she taps an app called Panopticon, and you see a thing opening that just starts showing the network of this place, and she's about to hit a button that says trace as she's talking to you. I'm sure I do not know what you're talking about, but feel free to enlighten me what horrific things I could have done. And at that point, she hits the trace button. Do you do anything?
So she's trying to do a sweep of the system to check
Yeah,
who's
she's
trying to
essentially trying to
infiltrate.
trace you.
Okay. Cool. Sick. All right. I think he says through the wires, Is Miss Palace here, by the way? And don't worry, I'm more than happy to have a conversation in person.
Are you asking that to her?
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, I am going to ask you to make a check.
I'm trying to kind of put my cards on the table here.
Yeah.
I'm on the read that they're trying to use this particular science to get at the nature of transformation and do it to other people, and that they are probably aware that Dana can also do that. So I'm making them fight each other instead, make the children fight. So yeah, I'm trying to get something that she understands. This kind of, I know this is what she's yearning for, and I'm making the knife twist.
And can I ask what he's doing?
What Giuseppe is doing?
Yeah. Is he like? He seems like he's very passive. Is he a little bit separate from her? Does he seem calm? Like.
Well, so what happened is initially he froze up, as the whole thing with Leyline happened, and now he's he seems to have composed himself, and he started something on his pad, and then he looked around. He seemed shiftily looking around, and then realized, wait, I can't do anything on this one without being tapped into. So he's still doing something on the pad, and Nathan Leyline sees what he's doing, and it seems to be like what you would do in response to this, like trying to reach out, trying to scramble security. But you also see Kinley, you see him starting to like edge towards the door.
Okay.
Probably with the intent to raise the alarm outside.
So in my mind,
he's passive, but he's not dumb.
Yeah. Tell me, in my mind, I imagine that Kinley like started to move towards the door with everyone, and then like realized the situation and stayed. So can I say that Kinley is nearish the door and wants to wait until there's a little bit of distance between him and her to do a thing?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
What? So in the meantime, while this is going on, unless you have an idea for a skill, you're essentially trying to get her to leak information. Can you?
Yeah, I'd like to make an empathize here, but in that we're I know what she wants.
Yeah, in the you might touch a horrifying monster and feel the frightened heart that beats within it. Yeah, I'll allow it.
And we're going to I will say the line, and then we'll roll, and then we'll see how she responds to it.
Yeah, perfect.
Let's not throw security around, or I will make sure that barrier between you and your subject is a lot thinner. Now, meet me in the bottling plant in 5 minutes, and I'm gonna roll empathize.
Yeah, go ahead.
2d6. Now, interesting thing. I can still push myself even though I'm maxed on stress. What that does is that it starts lowering my stress instead. And if stress hits 0, I die. Currently, I can push myself without actually too much damage, but continuing to do that would be a bad time.
As a note, by the way, to the community here, die may not necessarily mean death.
Fate worse than death is also still on the table and is genuinely more juicy.
Exactly.
Please no.
Hey, it's not going to happen to you.
Fight that.
But yes, I am going to push myself and lower 2 stress to roll an additional d6.
Yeah. I'll fully
Let's
allow.
go. Oh, a 5. Okay, partial. We take that.
A 5, a partial, yeah. So that's a you do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer severe harm. It's just complication. Of course, where you have reduced effect. Yeah, she's going to. Her face initially racked with anger, and you were even if you don't care about emotions, you were able to read her, read her like a book. You see that her face goes full on like alabaster mask as she just utters very coldly the words "fine then," and you see as she's doing this, she is hitting a button on her console that essentially activates the fire alarm, forcing people out rather than forcing security in. And at this point, she is beginning to walk towards the exit. So Kinley.
So, before she starts walking towards the exit, as he's coming by, Kinley is going to pop out of his little hiding spot and try to grab his arm. Just say, "Excuse me, I'm very sorry, but there's something I really need you to know." And I would like to spin the stress to do a flash back, forward, flash, timey-wimey
Just tell me what you want to flash to.
We are flashing to a funeral. And Kinley is all in black, for once no color, and looks absolutely haggard as he sits holding Alto's hand. And they have been sitting together. I don't know if it's a church where this would have been held, but it is completely empty. Everyone else has long left, and it's the two of them sitting, and not knowing what else to do, Kinley is humming this song. And Alto passes over a trinket that once belonged to his sister, that only his sister would have. And I would love for you to tell me what that would be. Kinley reaches into his pocket and pulls out 2 hair clips. "I don't know you, which means you were not part of all of this. And I know you don't know how extreme your consequences are now, and I forgive you for whatever you were going along with for the sake of whatever this is, but people you love need you to take a stand now."
Okay, so there's 2 things. 1, as you do this, you don't take stress, because this is not a flashback that is unlikely. This is in fact a flashback that had been written already. The second thing that happens is cliffhanger. As we end today's episode, we're about 15 minutes over already, with you handing this trinket to the twins' father. Him looking ice with you, and we'll see what happens on that front. And we see as this is happening, him being hit in the back of the shoulder as his wife barges past and opens the door, starts heading out. We see a crackling across the electricity grid as a whitish blue light starts heading down into the soda plant, and that is where we leave our heroes.
Things are so okay.
We are so
Yes.
good.
Oh.
Everyone,
How are we
hi.
doing, everyone? Are we doing
Oh
okay?
This
God,
is
yeah.
rad. This is what I was hoping for.
Holy shit, yeah,
Amazing.
this is so
Okay.
cool.
Thank you all for playing. This Anakin. It's time to start panicking. None of us have a planikin. Actually, no. I think a couple of us have a planikin, and that's the
bit of a
problem.
We
Attempted.
However, before we do all that, um, Nathan, would you like to start us off with the who is, where are, where from, how, why, what, panic?
Of course, darling. I have been your living ball of plasma, Nathan Blades, tabletop RPG designer, streamer, voice actor, and general internet ne'er-do-well. You can go and catch me on the Campaign Skyjacks podcast, as Captain Ormar Vale. You can catch me streaming a wide variety of tabletop and Pokemon-related things at twitch.tv/The Neoncaster. And you can buy my tabletop RPGs, including my most recent work, The Blacklight Sprawl. Create your own cyberpunk neon sludge miniature at sixofspades.itch.io.
Amazing. Then next up we have Rosie. Rosie, what do, where from, where, how, why, what?
Ooh, Rosie, sweet Rosie B, just about everywhere on the internet. You can find me here on Sundays. You can find me Monday over on Nat One Fun, where we're doing an Oops All Elves Rivendell adventure. Episode 2 comes out tomorrow. You can find me, that's just about it. In August, I will be showrunning and DMing a Space Pirates adventure that is launching on August 8th. We are really excited. We're prepping for that right now, but July was supposed to be my break month. That has failed. So you'll be seeing me around other places very soon. Can't talk about a couple things, but we'll soon.
Amazing. Okay, next up we have a Sunny.
Hi,
how are you
where-
feeling?
hi,
How are you doing?
Sunny is doing fantastic. This is so cool. The twins are having a time, I will say. And most of it they don't know about, which is the best part. So basically, yeah. Sunny, though, loving everything. Especially since I am loving Sunny. Hi, you can find me on the internet, and the card that you can find there, it's usually going to be either as loving Sunny with some variations of having 2 eyes in there, or Sunshine Citadel, where you can find my now existing TTRPG content, including the Salted Legacy adventure that Tavernal was in, playing as the wonderful Gan. His take on Gandalf being a
Gandalf is
bard,
bard.
and 100% true and correct, and it went fantastically. Low level D&D, 1st to 3rd level adventure. Very fun. My first time DMing. You can check that on my YouTube channel as Sunshine Citadel. You can also see me in the Girls Run These Worlds channel on Tuesdays, or watching the VODs both on Twitch and their YouTube channel, playing Mitchtem, which is a very, very adorable hamster adventure that we're all have a very beautiful family, where I play Tulip, an adorable, very small and very round florist who is a very bad businesswoman, but is trying her best. And the vibes are very different, and it's very cute. And a few other things that I cannot talk about. But keep an eye on my socials and things, and
Oh no, Kay is rubbing off on you. Speaking of Kay, what can you not talk about today?
Actually, we're pretty good this week.
Sad.
So hi y'all, I'm Kate Purcell. I do all sorts of TTRPG stuff, mostly the Dragon game, but lots of other stuff as well, because you got to shake it up a little bit. Find me here every Tuesday. Find me on the Chaotic Wholesome Presents Table Talk Show, where we talk all things TTRPGs, from indies to intersectionality. This Wednesday and the next Wednesday, we are playing the My Little Pony game by Renegade Games. It is incredibly pink. It is incredibly sparkly.
That is amazing.
We are going to be revealing character art today. I promise y'all, we're not ready for it. That's with
Will
Urban
there be
Bohemian.
singing?
You know, Eugenio is a singer, like a professional singer, and
Because as we all know, no My Little Pony episode is complete without a song.
yes.
Oh,
Is it? Do we all know that? I feel
yeah,
left out now.
it's new to me, but okay. duly noted.
Yeah, I'll take
There
it.
is, if any character is going to burst into song, it is definitely his. But that's DM Jazzy Hands, Urban Bohemian, Candace the Magnificent, and Stellar Encore, and myself as GM. It's supposed to be a one-shot, and I'm like, this adventure is at least 2 episodes, so that's what we did. And
I
also
could
we
not
wanted,
relate. Definitely never done that before. Didn't turn a one shot into 4 sessions. Please continue.
it's also like, no, we're gonna let this group of role players be ponies. Like, you don't stop the theater kids from being ponies for as long as they want to be. You can find me every other Wednesday on the Emergency Power podcast, where I play Sol the Solarian. What else do I have? What else? Pokemon streams on Thursdays, where I try to catch them all but shiny. Usually fail, but when I do get one, it blows my heckin' mind. Oh, that's right. Candace sings, and Candace is the other one who would break into. How did I forget that? Candace is so freaking amazing. Yeah, I've got a lot more coming up. Like, there are things I can't talk about, but they're probably not coming out for a while. But follow me on Twitter at KDamFear. If it's not at KDamFear, it's at Chaotic Wholesome Presents, or some variation of that, because we got some stuff going on.
Amazing. You actually don't have that much you can't talk about today.
I really don't. I mean, yeah, last week there was a lot of recordings for things I could not talk about. This week it's only 5 recordings this week. It's good.
So, with all that out of the way, hi, I am Tav. I haven't said my pronouns yet, but I go by he, him pronouns. I do the RPG stuff. I have done the RPG stuff. I apparently like hitting people in the feels. I that is a scurrious accusation, and I will not allow it.
Slander.
Yeah, absolute slander. I have never hit any player in the. Never mind. I can't keep a straight face through that one. I would, as far as things to promo, I would very much like to encourage you once again to subscribe if you haven't done so already. But if you have subscribed, consider watching the video that I just published, because the first episode of ChronoBloom, A Leave on the Winds of Time, is now actually available. It took 2 weeks to edit. There's a whole bunch of really cool additional stuff in there, and it is about half an hour to 3/4 of an hour shorter than a regular live stream, because I could cut some stuff out. There will be casting calls next week for a charity RPG-a-thon that is going to be happening in the end of August. And should I leak what it is for? I think I should.
Get people excited.
At least a hint.
So, a certain Bob has made me a bit angry, and that's how I do my charity work. So, someone said something about outlasting striking SAG-AFTRA workers, and that they'll lose their houses before they'll get a contract. Yeah, no, we're going to be raising funds for the entertainment fund, because fuck Bob Iger. And with all that out of the way, thank you all so much for watching. This has been ChronoBloom. We are all in panic. Goodbye.
Later.